Guys, I got level with you. I haven't done a single Greedon video since the beginning of DivineZ, and that just feels horrible to me as a person that's basically built up Greedon as one of the main decks since the beginning of the format. I mean, we got the hashtag, I have to wear this in every Greedon video I do. I took it to regionals last year and actually did pretty well, so I'm always going to shout this out because it doesn't get the views that it should. But honestly, for DivineZ, I'm going to ignore the elephants and we're going to ignore the fact that Shiranui and Legdemire are just like versus Greedon, and we're going to go back to the reason I'm making this video. Lyrical did it better. Alright, so real quick recap on a couple of Greedon cards that we've gotten so far, because there will be a direct compare to something that I'll talk about in just a sec. If you want to skip ahead, there's the chapters. If not, it actually makes sense, so listen. Set 1, we got 3 new cards. Skyr lets you call a card out of Soul, which is great, always good to help refill the Soul for Greedon or whatever, but coming out of Soul is kind of counterproductive. Ignore the fact that Muka did that since day 1, and Muka is one of the best cards for your deck. Satoru Gojo, who when he goes to Soul, you just Energy Blast and add back to hand, which, okay, cool, I mean, it's your shield card, whatever, but it comes out of Soul. Greedon likes to have cards in Soul, especially for the original one, for Soul Blast 2 to restand. And even if you do a mask, that still needs 3 specific cards in Soul. Elephant was good though, I like Elephant. Then I guess I'll do a quick shout out to the 2 set 5 cards that we have, because it is still somewhat prevalent. We got Impuck, the little mole man. Real quick skill, in Soul, if you have a Greedon, bind this card, energy charge, choose Vanguard gets +5. Okay, we talk about 2 things for a sec, not the Disney Plus thing. It's unescapable. I gotta go full screen? So you're binding the card out of Soul to get energy. Cool, new cards cost energy or whatever, but you're once again minusing your Soul. And not only are you minusing your Soul, but you're minusing your Soul to a place that can no longer be touched in the bind zone. And even though there's 2 different decks I play that do care about the bind zone for Dark States, this is not Gear Chronicle nor Direful Dolls, which is also Gear Chronicle. Then finally we got this cool cat. I swear to God, Coney's barking because I was like cat, who seems pretty good on surface level. I mean, we got an effect that when it's placed on rear guard, if you Greedon or Desire Devil, count +1, check top 5, and add 1 to hand. That's pretty good to get a nice little search. I mean, basically the same thing Greedon Mask does, but in the form of a cool kitty cat. Second skill though, I don't understand these words coming out of my mouth in 2 seconds. Soul. If you have a grade 3 or greater Greedon, Soul Blast 1, and bind this card. Choose one of your opponent's rear guards and bind it Soul. Alright, so let's do some math here. This card, it says that you have to not only Soul Blast another card, but then bind this card. That is 2 cards coming out of your Soul in order to activate this effect to put one of your opponent's rear guards in Soul for some reason. I'm gonna put a Greedon up on screen right now over on that side so it covers all the ads. I want you to take a look at the cost to restand Greedon for a second. Soul Blast 2, then eat 4 unit cards. No, that is counterproductivity right there. And this is what, a triple rare, I think? Double rare, but still. Fact of the matter is, Greedon likes cards in Soul, and basically every card that we've seen ever since the Z format started, every card we've seen for Greedon says take cards out of Soul to activate an effect, and then don't replace cards back in Soul or just straight up bind them. This could work if Bushido decided to take Greedon in a different direction. I'm already working on a creating card for it. I'm doing some testing. This was originally going to be a video for that, but I mean, then we won't be talking about the card I'm going to talk about in like 10 seconds. But until that happens, no. Normal Greedon requires Soul. Greedon Mask is not only railroading you a little bit more because it needs another package outside of his own Greedon stuff, but also still needs to have 3 specific cards in Soul at all points in time. Bushy Y. Give me the card I'm designing. I'll send it to you in the email. Just hit me up. But anyways, we're not talking about Greedon today. We are talking about Greedon the Catgirl. I'm freaking proxying here. I can't wait for the end of October to get the actual set. Of course, you want to help support me on this channel so I can afford these new cards when they actually come out and not proxy for them. Make sure to check out my page on TCG Player or check me out on Ko-Fi to give me a tip. But Liscafael. Everyone says that she's MLB. Everyone says that she's Overlord because she restands once. You know who else restands? At least once? Yeah, I stood up just to show you that he stands. You know what deck actually benefits from eating up units to gain special abilities? It's Greedon. Liscafael is Catgirl Greedon, and I will not back down from that statement ever. Let's take a look at her new toys and discuss just why these cards work for her and not for Greedon when they did the exact same thing the last few sets. Welcome back to Twitter or X, whatever you guys call it. I'm just keep on calling it Twitter because that's what I was. Look, there's an X right there. Ooh, I got a notification. So Liscafael got 3 new support cards this time around. There's another generic one right here, but that's generic one I can talk about. Let's just say it real quick. If Greedon has no cards, it gets the following. Okay, it's the clone. I don't care anymore. It's the clone of the cycle cards we got. Comment down below if you wanted me to talk about the cycle cards. I don't care enough because they're mid. But let's start things off with this nice little grade 2 here. We got Weaving Thoughts Together, Schenkul. Real simple ability, when this is placed from rearguard into soul by your grade 3 or greater Liscafael, you can put this back into your hand. Alright, so nice little, we'll do a comparison real quick. Satoru Gojo, shout out to the exact date that I record this, that last chapter of JJK goes live. It's been a ride. Comment below all your favorite Jujutsu Kaisen memories. Nanami's my boy. Yeah, if you remember, Gojo has a very similar effect where if it goes to soul by the cost of effect, you're able to put it back to hand. There's a couple differences here though. First of all, this card costs 3 energy to use that effect, whereas this one is completely free. You'd be like, yeah, whatever, I mean, Greedon doesn't use energy on his own, so it literally just comes off of spirit effects like this, whereas Liscafael does have an energy blast cost that you want to use every turn. Cool story, don't worry about it, whatever. Let's get rid of the elephant in the room right now. Let's talk about the elephant. That looks like an elf girl, apparently. Unless those are cat ears? Are those weird, flesh-colored cat ears? I'm a little concerned now, but the whole thing with Liscafael is she is a cat girl. Liscafael has a divine skill that activates once you have 6 cards in soul. That skill being that she turns into MLB, becoming a permanent 18k double crit, and she gets to rescan that turn. Neato Mosquito. However, and I cannot stress this enough, that is the only turn Liscafael ever needs to have 6 soul. That is the only thing that affects soul at all in the deck. Once you do your divine skill, which you're just going to pop off as soon as possible, turn 3 if you went second, turn 4 if you had to go first for whatever reason. After you activate your divine skill, Liscafael don't care no more. You can get rid of that soul as much as possible, and I've actually been just like trying to figure out good ways to soul blast I can do some cool stuff with. Because of that, effects like this where you go into soul and then come right back out of soul to go other places, they don't matter. You can do whatever you want in this deck with your soul, so this is effectively a plus. Whereas in Greedon, it's a hard minus. Going from the 2 to 3, we have glasses here. The competent director, because she has glasses, that's why she's competent. And a director. 2 different skills here. First of all, if you have a grade 3 Liscafael, it's going to get +5, which is active on your opponent's turn 2. That's kind of cute. Always good to have more power on your beats, making an 18k right here. Liscafael has an order which also gives your front row +5 in addition to Persona Ride. So you get big numbers in this deck, which is good because this is effectively, aside of a couple factors like a specific grade 2 you run and Liscafael's divine skill, a 3 attack deck. So numbers are always very nice. And it being active on your opponent's turn means that you now have multiple targets that are 18k base, which a little bit hard to get rid of. Then for her skill, when she goes from the rear guard to soul by Liscafael, this is not the exact same thing as saying Greedon effect, because there are a couple cool guys like Zito and Bubetsu that everyone should run in Dark State, especially Bubetsu. People like the bunny. But when she goes in, you gotta give your front row a +5 until end of turn. Cool. She effectively passes on her passive +5 to the front row, which is great. Like I said, this is a 3 attack deck outside of circumstances, so the plus power is always nice, very reminiscent of what's her name, the Rabbit Girl grade 2 cycler card check, who actually just got reprinted in the set that came out, so perfect time for me to be doing lyrical videos apparently. This was unintentionally planned, I just wanted to talk about Liscafael. That said, with this being a Greedon based deck, if you want to just keep optimal front row and not have her out, you just put it behind Liscafael. She can't be boosted anyways for her effect. Lisk first, yum, power front row. There you go, you got a Zito front trigger. Pretty good. Not sure how we're gonna run this. Not sure what our grade 3 lamp's gonna look like because our other one's okay as well. I mean, it's a good tech. And glasses. Alright, final card of the day. We're going straight to our grade 1, who is apparently the best one. I mean, it's gotta be, it's a triple rare. We have Bunny Girl. Okay, it's better, it's a Bunny Girl. I am not a furry. My zodiac is a rabbit though, so I stand rabbits. I mean, features could be cute, but we're not gonna. So we got Clover Heart's Nellinea. 2 effects once again. We're gonna do the second one first because I want to save the first one for last. I did it last time and it worked out rather well for the first effect. When this boost, if you have a grade 3 or greater Liscafael, you get Soul Blast 2, and then this gets +10 until that battle. Okay, that doesn't feel that good. An 18k booster with Soul Blast 2, once again, you don't care about your soul at all. This is Greedon, but not Greedon. And this unit gets +10. So that's the only thing I don't like is that this unit gets +10 instead of like the unit she's boosting gets +10. I feel like that would have been triple rare worthy because then you just put on the restander and give it a +10k trigger buff. I mean, this is still nice because once again, Make Your Numbers Matter is the name of the game in Cardfight Vanguard, and you could just say this is your first attack, big, then eat her up for the second attack and just trigger up the cards up front or whatever. That first effect being, this is one of the reasons I want to do this video and compare to Greedon once again. When this is placed on rearguard, if you have Liscafael, grade 3 or greater. Catalyst 1. Choose a grade 2 or less unit with a different card name from this unit and without Sentinel from your soul, put it in your hand, and you may soul charge 1. There's not too many things in base Liscafael that counterblast. You have 1 on your Divine skill, which is 1 time only, don't worry about it. You have 1 for the Resander, which you'll only be able to use 1 per turn because of the way that card functions. So effectively you are using 1 to 2 counterblast a turn depending on what turn you're on. Having second one here is nice. That does of course restrict you a little bit to counterblast denial effects, but there is already a grade 1 that goes to soul to let you countercharge. So once again, Greedon effects. You are gaining abilities whenever your Vanguard eats stuff. This is literally how Greedon functions. That said, her ability. You're choosing 1 grade 2 or lower normal unit from your soul, putting it back to hand, so like all the things you've been eating all game could go back to hand. It gives you infinite deck building possibilities. And then after that, you're able to soul charge 1. The soul charge is optional. This is godsend. While this isn't a traditional Dark State deck, so it doesn't just soul charge all day long, you do still have multiple drive checks and the potential resand on your turn. A decent amount of draw effects built in with a lot of these cards. Having the ability to say that I've already Divine Skill, my soul no longer matters outside the specific pieces. By the way, grab this card from soul back to hand. That's just good. This is effectively a soft version of cards like Araki and Muka that grab a card out of soul. However, it's not a forced call in case you want to add that resource to hand for guard. Say it's got like one of the +5 shield grade 1s or whatever. Actually, hold on. They're +5 grade 1, but with an effect like this, you effectively have a 13k attacker / booster that you can eat up for no reason, and later on have a 10k shield out of. So that makes things effective with that. Once again, Greedon comparison directly. Where's the freaking bird? This silly guy is just a generic 15k, 10k as long as you Greedon. But this is like straight up a vore and Greedon mask, just for that versatility. So yeah. Greedon's a Catgirl. If you guys do want to see my idea for energy Greedon, make sure to smash that like button down below. It's pretty much scripted and ready to go. The only reason I recorded this first is because this support for Liscafael only makes me think that everything they've been doing for energy Greedon so far has just been tested waters for its divine skill cat counterpart with Best Girls. I'm never gonna stop standing Unima. Her entire existence is just a simple Best Girl. Let me know down below what your favorite Dustin one is and how excited you are for it. I personally can't wait for half of them because outside of this obvious hype, Leverage, Dragon of the Infinite, probably the most hype I've been for Stoke Chaos since Leonor dropped. And I mean, you already know what I'm gonna say about the time, girl. I'm chilling here trying to make Keter work and already have Darkseid's Proxied. But until then, thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed what I do here, make sure to press the little subscribe button. We're close to 250, and that's like, what, 1/4 of the way to partnership or something like that? Maybe it's half now. I forgot how to change things. If you want to help support me on this channel, like I said, make sure to check out my page on TCG Player or leave me a tip on Ko-Fi. Both those ways help me get new stuff. Like I recently picked up this new tripod, which I'll be popping out for quite soon. I'm gonna get a new mic so you don't have to just hear my voice through this thing, and of course help me get the shiny cardboard so I can talk about shiny cardboard. Has this been open the whole time? It's like a supply closet for my TCG Player stuff. Like I said, we got plenty of Cardfight stuff coming soon. A little preview for you guys at the very end. We are going to be talking about Direful Dolls again, not just because of the new broken support for Standard, but it's premium. I made a premium deck for Direful Dolls, and I kind of want to do it again. But first I'm going to tell you about the first one. Only hint again is it is in fact a Gear Chronicle deck, and I cannot freaking wait for that video to go live. But until then, always embrace the infinite. Hi, post-credit Jared here. I just realized that I put in the like tiny bit of notes I do for these prescripts that I was gonna try and make some more comparisons between Darkseid decks and non-Darkseid decks, being things like how Benny is effectively a better Bear Magnus whenever we get it here in the States. And of course we're talking Benny, so I gotta shout out the boy Ignatius, one of our official Shadowverse masters, along with Different Fight in Red Zone. Make sure you check out his new page, Twin and Drive, because it looks freaking awesome. I've been loving that content so far in his journey to become a card fighter. And Igni, if you're watching this somehow towards the these last few seconds, I'm still open to be here for Direful Dolls or a couple of other decks I played, but probably Direful Dolls. Okay, this time I'm gonna go buy more card fight, Shadowverse, and other card game content. Come soon. Also, track yourself. Don't forget I talk about theme parks and stuff on this channel too.